Welcome to Satsunami. Hello everyone, and welcome to another special episode of Satsunami. I'm Satsunami, and today I have the very special privilege of being joined by quite possibly one of my very first streamer friends on Twitch. You might already know him. He is an awesome streamer from America, and he also hosts his own podcast called, it is The Captain's Quarters, isn't it? Or is it just Captain's Quarters?
Just Captain's Quarters.
Captain's Quarters.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, technically it's the show to be in. The Captain's Quarters. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Oh, no problem.
So yeah, before we kind of get into, talking about the meat of, like, our experiences with, streaming and things, I'm just trying to remember when we both actually met, because, my god, it was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I actually vaguely remember kind of how we met. Mm-hmm. It was back when you had the moon as your profile picture on Twitter.
Oh, was that long ago?
Yeah, and we were both kind of doing we didn't know it at the time, but we were in the kind of like the follow for follow thing, but not aware that that's what it was. And I just saw the moon, and there was something about the post you made that I was just like, I'll check this guy out. And I think I may have commented. I was like, hey, I'll swing by later. And you were playing Doom, and it was like the next day I was at work, I saw you go live playing Doom, and I just jumped in and completely neglected all the jobs I was supposed to do and watched you.
Oh, thank you.
And the rest is history.
I mean, honestly, it is kind of weird to see when you're on Twitter. I think at the beginning I wasn't really sure how to use Twitter, so it's quite hard. See, when you're putting your name out, like, have you ever felt this when you were beginning, that you put your name out and say things like, oh, I'm going live, or I'm streaming, and no one really kind of, like, not pays attention, but like, you don't get as much attention until, like, you start kind of interacting with other streamers and things on, like, Twitter. But yeah, my god, just when you said that my profile picture was the moon, because I'm looking at, like, the channel point redemption just now, and it's just a small picture of a panda waving, like a red panda waving, and I feel as if the red panda now is just so, like, synonymous with the channel now. But back then it wasn't even like a thought in my mind. It was just like, I'll throw up any picture that I've taken, and yeah, I think the moon was probably just the best. Yeah, probably the best picture that I had at the time.
I think you changed it from the moon to your first picture of a red panda. I think the next week, within a week or two. I remember you did not have the moon long after I met you. As for the interacting with other streamers, that is true. It's not about just hitting go live and sitting in front of a camera, or not sitting in front of a camera, but just hitting live and going. There's nuance to it. There's figuring it out. There's like figuring out, like, your style, like what people like about you. Like you and I have a different style. We're both, like, very, I'd like to think that we're both very welcoming individuals to an extent, but I don't, like I just said, you can't just press go live and sit there. It doesn't work that way. And you need to talk to people. You need to interact. Because if you just sit there and you don't do anything, no one's going to come through. They're going to check out your Twitter, and they're going to see 500 going live posts. But that's, like, they're not getting a feel for your personality whatsoever. They're just like, this dude just posting, hey, I'm live. Hey, I'm live. Like, if you post something funny, or sometimes I post tweets and, like, they don't get any likes, but I'm just, like, throwing out, like, my opinion on something or something I think is funny. So
no, it's absolutely worth doing that though, isn't it? Because, like, I've had similar things where it's like, I don't get any likes on a particular post or something, but it's just, like, something random that's come to mind that, like, I'll throw out there, and I feel as if that is better for, like, later on when people look back, like, at your page and see, like, what kind of person you are as, I suppose, both as a streamer and, like, at how you present yourself out there. Here's a question for you. Do you think that is quite important, being able to kind of, I don't want to say brand yourself, like a company, but, like, to kind of set yourself up as, your kind of streamer self, if you know what I mean, as well as, like, showing your personal side, I suppose.
Yeah, when it comes to, like you mentioned, kind of setting yourself up, like, you have, like, almost everybody kind of has, like, something of persona when they're streaming or doing YouTube videos to an extent. that is it's like a facsimile of yourself. It's like either more exaggerated version of yourself or more, it's like you're putting a mask, like a kind of shield up on yourself in a way. Like I'm usually a giggly mess when I'm playing, or I'm scared, which is genuine. It's genuine. I genuinely get scared when I'm playing horror games. And then for instance, the other day I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I had a couple of viewers, one of which I see in chat right there. Actually, I see two of them right there. Two of these guys made me build bathrooms, made me drown people in water. Like,
Jesus,
I was getting, yeah, Roller Coaster. I mean, and it just it escalated until someone died on Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then on top of that, it was like I was genuinely getting irritated that I was losing money because I thought I was going to lose the level. But I ended up winning. But I had fun with it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to do it again. But I just kind of went on a tangent there.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just kind of glancing through chat there. I know we're going to get to that later. I see you.
It kind of says a lot, though, doesn't it, about the fact that, like, as a streamer, you can do that kind of stuff with the chat. If you didn't have that kind of community, and you know, like, can you imagine if you loaded up Roller Coaster Tycoon without that community and just being like, okay, today we're going to just drown a couple of people and we're going to just do this and that? Like, people would just be like, coming in, just be like, wait, what are we going to do today? But it's really cool, though, that, well, not really, I'm not advocating for, you know, like, Sims level kind of horror game, but, you know, it is good that, like, you're able to kind of at least interact with your chat, or not interact, but, you know, like, have that kind of community feel.
Yeah, if I had just booted up Roller Coaster Tycoon without, like, having the community and the friends that I have in chat, like, then I don't think it would have gone anywhere. I might have been, because it's such an old game. It's, you know, came out in 2000. It's 21 years old. Come on, man. Like, it just I'm at a loss because I feel really lucky to be able to have, like, the small, like, group of friends. I mean, I consider everybody that kind of just hangs out in my chat friends. But I just feel very lucky to be able to have, like, the small group of people that I do have that enjoy, you know, hanging out, watching me either scream or just have fun, get mad. I think I just missed what you were asking me.
No.
I apologize.
No,
so
no,
feel free to reword the question as many times as you like.
No, just kind of jumping off at that point. Did you ever expect that, though, when you kind of started off streaming? Like, that you were going to get this, like, tight-knit community of, like, people that, you know, you do consider friends and everything?
No, I did not. Like, when I first started, my first stream was, I want to say, one of the first streams I ever did was either Bloodborne or something or another. I mean, I don't even really remember, to be honest. Under the Captain Heart moniker, that is. And then I did some Dragon Ball Fighters. I tried various things, and I really didn't. One of the first kind of big ones I did was Resident Evil 4, which I felt like that's kind of where I started getting, like, a little bit of traction. I was like, okay, like, maybe this is what it is. And then I was watching you, like, upgrade your channel, like, working hard. I was looking at Naf constantly upgrading because at that point I had met him a little bit, but I still hadn't, like, become real good friends with him. And then I just kept kind of jumping around, and then I played Vice City, and I met, like, Rave. Gummy came in on Vice City, and that's where I kind of, like, I started getting more traction. Then I did Boneworks. That was, I want to say Boneworks was probably, like, the third big game I did where, like, I was meeting new people that I now consider friends, and, like, just taking chances on stuff, because I've tried, like, my VR streams before that were either hit or miss. So sometimes just taking a chance on a game really can, like, if you are enjoying it, people see that. They see that you enjoy it, or they like your reactions. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's amazing. Like, this is just such a cool journey to be on, to meet new people. I
suppose it's, like, very, that sounds really weird to say, it's very unexpected considering the nature of streaming. You know, like saying, oh, you're, you know, purposely, you're broadcasting yourself out to all these people all over the world. And, obviously you're going to get, like, people who are going to, come in, but I don't know, like, especially for me, I have to admit, I was not expecting, like, all the kind, like, don't get me wrong, I met some, yourself included of course, but I have met some like amazing people on Twitch and through streaming and everything. It's been such an amazing experience. But like, I completely agree with what you were saying there just about like the different games you play, and I do think, and again, not trying to be biased for variety streamers, hashtag variety streamer squad, where you at, but I do think that's like a major, major bonus, that even if you play a game and it is not a hit, that doesn't mean that all the other games aren't going to be hits, with other people. Like, I think the one for me, which was like the major turning point, was like, I think it was Sonic Adventure, where that was when I started getting my first couple of people coming in, starting to interact a lot more. And then I moved on to other things, and you're completely right. It's just that kind of snowball effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is amazing, though. It's weird. Do you ever look back? Like, this is going to sound, like, so kind of nostalgic and everything, like, back in our day. But do you ever look back and kind of think, where you started versus, like, where you are just now as a streamer? I mean, would you say you've changed quite a lot from that point? Like, just in terms of streaming?
I would say, yeah, I have. In both good and bad ways, I think. It's a good and bad change.
Mm-hmm.
I say, like, I think I've improved in some ways, and in others I've either regressed or I haven't been giving it like 100%. Like, and when I say that, I don't mean like when I first started, like, I like my new setup. I love the lighting I have. I love like the camera setup that I put, and I like my podcast stuff that I have. But in other ways, I feel like whenever I first started, I was like, okay, I got to put the work, you got to work hard.
Yeah.
It really is like, I don't think some people understand how much goes into this, and you still see some people struggling, but it eventually does like pay off. But like, I think it shows. So I've had 2 or 3 things happen to me where I feel has regressed myself in a way. I ended up getting something of a promotion at work, as well as I had a family medical emergency, which is still ongoing to this day, that eats up some of my time. Combine that with everything else, and I haven't been able to get in people's streams, haven't interacted as much on Twitter, and you see it. Like, for a while, I was surprised, and I don't like talking like numbers and stuff like that, but there was a veritable point in time where I was averaging like 17 viewers a stream. That was like my average, and I was really excited. And then my internet went out, and I think you remember that my internet went out for 3 weeks, or a month actually. I had no internet for a month, so I couldn't stream. I come back and it's average of 5, 6 all the time, and that doesn't bother me because I still see the people I love seeing, and people still stop in. I just don't have the momentum I had, because when all that happened, I had the family medical stuff got worse. So I haven't had as much time to be in people's streams, and it makes me feel bad because I love hopping in my friends' streams. I love hanging out, and I don't know, life goes on. But streaming's very hard. Content creation can be hard unless you just hit the nail on the head and knock it out of the park with like something crazy, like topical.
Yeah.
Then it's really hard.
I mean, it is quite a dangerous mindset. It's like, going back to what you were saying like earlier, see about the follow for follow thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, like, and again, I'm not like stereotyping anyone, but there's always that one person who talks about a thing called the grind, where it's like, oh, like the kind of person that has this very negative stereotype of, oh, if you want to be a successful streamer, you have to stream every single day, you gotta like push yourself out there, and you gotta do this and that. Very negative things. And the reason I say negative is because it's kind of simplifying streaming, because as you said, we've got things going on in our personal lives as well. Like, streamers aren't robots at the end of the day, as much as we wish we were sometimes.
Yeah, I wish I was sometimes. I was like,
but Yeah, I mean, like, the other day there, I had, like, a huge issue in my house where basically, basically my boiler blew up. Long story short.
Uh,
And it's fixed now, everything's fine. But for those, like, couple of days, like, there was no way I could stream. I couldn't, like, do anything on my PC. I couldn't do any content creation. And although, like, I did kind of worry, thinking, oh no, I can't do this or that. I can't edit for the podcast or anything. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we all have to take kind of time to ourselves. And I do think that that is quite a dangerous mindset when, like, other streamers come in and they start saying, oh, this is the way to success. And it's like, maybe, like, in the short term, like, if you kept streaming every day, you would get, like, loads and loads of views, maybe. Like,
yeah.
by chance, but that's like a flash in the pan. It's not gonna be sustainable because everyone burns out eventually. Like, have you ever felt like that? Like, because I know I have, like, when I was beginning, I didn't really have, like, a set schedule, and
Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, like, at the very beginning, I got very, like, demoralised with numbers and things when I was looking at other channels, and then I was looking at my own channel and thinking, why is mine not working when other people's are? And of course, like, back then, there's obviously, like, a whole load of reasons. I mean, I was just basically burning myself out. But, I mean, have you ever felt like that?
Yeah,
Like,
a lot more than I lit on.
mhm,
As Captain Heart, like I try and push forward a very positive environment, and
mhm,
like just trying to be everyone's friend that I
mhm,
can. And and I remember when you were very and I won't say too much, but I do
mhm,
remember seeing you demoralized. And at the time, I remember seeing a tweet or a thing where it's like,
mhm,
I don't remember if it was either in a chat or like on Twitter, but someone was like, enjoy these while they last because some of these people won't be here. And it just hit me. And I was like, I don't want to see Satsunami just vanish because
mhm,
he feels demoralized. And that's why I was like kind of pushing you, like, don't
mhm,
don't give up. Like, try new things or kind of work around your brand. And I think you've come a long way. Like, I'm
mhm,
very like impressed with everything you do. But
mhm.
like,
Oh, thanks.
as
Mm,
far as me anytime, as far
mhm,
as anything, like, I mean, I had to turn my numbers off. I mean, I know I talked about numbers just a little bit ago, but seeing people I streamed with or hung out with or hung out in their channels, and then seeing them
mhm,
hit like like high double digits, and I'm still
mhm,
sitting like barely breaking that. It shouldn't be about that. Like, you
mhm,
should have fun with what you're playing or what you're doing, and people can tell that. Like, they can tell if you're not into something. I've gotten demoralized a lot, and it reflects
mhm,
big time on either your like statistics or just in person. Like, when people come to your chat, if you're demoralized
mhm,
or like not feeling it that day, as soon as like normally, you're like, oh hey man, what's up?
mhm,
Like, they'll come in and be like, hey, what's up? And you'll be like, oh hi, how
mhm.
are you? Like,
Yeah.
like, it's very
Mhm.
obvious.
Like, one of the examples, like, I remember actually a specific stream, like, it is one that actually, I won't say what stream it was, but basically there was a stream where I was really hyped to play, like, a game on stream, and basically something happened literally probably like half an hour or an hour before the stream, and it completely just like knocked the air out of me. It was just, I was feeling down, but I thought, you know what, I should still go ahead and stream. And even though, like, it didn't help because later on in that stream, I had lots of technical issues, I had audio issues, the stream was lagging, everything went wrong,
The
like, on
worst.
top of that. Like, it would be bad enough
Nightmare.
if, like, that thing happened before the stream, and then I could kind of, like, build on it, and be like, right, okay, let's get into it, but that happened, and oh, it was just the worst. And even after the stream, like, I tried my best to, like, just power through and be like, okay, guys, let's play through this, let's do this. But, at the end of it, like, people picked up on it that something wasn't right. Like, they were kind of saying, oh, you didn't sound like yourself. And it is a hard thing, especially when people get into streaming and they expect it's going to be like... So, funny enough, I think I was talking to... So, last time, I was talking to another streamer, Alex Blurry, last time, and...
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he is such a nice guy,
He
honestly.
is. we matched denim jackets.
Really?
For when I had him on my podcast, we matched the denim jackets. Yeah, it was awesome.
See, that's what I mean. Just meeting people with the same fashion taste, you know?
Yeah, he was cool. I love him.
Yeah, he is great. I mean, we were talking about how... basically, it was like at the time when I was talking to him, I had read this thing on Reddit. I'm sure it was Reddit, or it was one of these websites anyway, where basically it was someone complaining about streamers, and they were basically saying, oh, why do streamers get, you know, so much money for, you know, like, for what they do and things? But I honestly feel like, see, actually getting into streaming and trying it, I think, like, we definitely have a better kind of understanding of it now, compared to people who just like assume that all you have to do is like turn on the camera or turn on, you know, the stream and be like, yeah, you know, that's all there is. Because see the amount, see if I see one more stream that, like, I'm not singling any one person, but there are some streams I've been into where it is literally someone who is sitting there pan-faced, focused completely on the game. Not even like a challenge run or anything, just like completely focused in their own world. You say hey in the chat and they'll be like, oh, and it's like, what, was that a hey? Was that a... Honestly feel like a parent. It's like coming in being like, oh, how are you enjoying your game? And they're just like, oh, and you're like, oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it's like,
but like, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I've been in those, and it's like, and I don't like being mean, but like those, sometimes I will see those, and then on Twitter, like, because I usually give almost everyone a shot. I'll either pop in on your stream, I'll give you a host. I go into, like, example, sim streams around like 8:30 or 8 o'clock my time in the morning, and I'll go in, give him a host for a little bit. I mean, he does great normally, so my host just kind of boosts him up there a little bit, and then, like, you know, if I catch you, like, I know you've changed your streaming time, so you're usually streaming like right around when I do or before I do.
Yeah, apologies about that.
Yeah, oh no, you're fine, man. And then those are the people that'll then be like, I'm giving up, I can't do it. Type, like, you're not putting in the work. Like, you want it, but you don't have the drive. And I don't mean that, like, you might have the drive, but like, I don't know, like, is that mean? Or
no,
or maybe I should say that maybe it is like a drive thing, because I've been like demoralized. Maybe they just didn't understand how to do it, because I don't see them interacting with anyone on Twitter or like just talking. Like you said, they don't even talk to people in their chat. As long as you start talking to people in your chat, like, eventually you're gonna find the right person, and then it just kind of picks up from there.
I totally agree with you, though. An example that kind of comes to mind is, so, like, not self-plugging myself here, but recently I've been trying to, like, boost myself on, like, other social medias that I don't normally boost myself on. So I've been making, like, a huge push on places like Instagram and TikTok. I still have no idea, like, how TikTok works, genuinely. Like, some videos get, like, millions of views for just someone, like, smiling or dancing or something like that. I genuinely, like, there's literally one woman who just, like, I don't even know what she does. She just, like, kind of bobs her head or something, and then it's like millions of views. And then I'm kind of sitting there thinking, you know, it's like something out of an anime where I'm just like, right, okay, if I get the right hashtag here, if I get this thing, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just like the algorithm. It's like any other website, you know. It's weird. Like completely by chance. But my God, on like TikTok, I've actually met like quite a few like really nice people on there who I've talked to. You know, I'll kind of say, you know, oh, thanks for the follow, you know, oh, I've checked out your Twitch, that kind of thing, because like I don't want to be like going into people's like DMs and being like, hi there, I'm Satsunami, I'm a variety streamer.
I hate that.
like, genuinely, see, there's this person who keeps spamming me saying, like, oh, can you like my video? Oh, by the way, I'm so-and-so on Twitch and things. And if I'm gonna, like, call out, some bad behaviour or bad Twitch etiquette, that is it. Like, please, if you are starting out and you are listening to this, do not, like, spam your link to people. It doesn't do you any favours. Like,
Yeah.
there is a time and a place for it. Like, for example, if you or I were to say, like, in a thing, oh, what's your YouTube channel? Please put it in the chat. Like, that's, like, opened the door of being acceptable. But I mean, funny enough, have you ever had this in your chat? Like, I had this in a Fall Guys stream where someone posted, like, their YouTube channel, and they were like, can you please review my new video from YouTube, like, right that second? And I was kind of like, no?
I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm currently in the middle. I might check it out later. I've never had that. I have had someone, and this isn't a bad thing. So I was streaming Team Fortress 2. That used to be one of my. I played it right before my internet went out. Like I did like probably 5 or 6 streams of it, and it seemed like it was, it did pretty well. But someone came in and asked me a question, and they were like, and I was giving them like this very like biased. Or not biased, but I was just giving them like my opinion on something. And then afterwards they were like, oh yeah, I'm putting this in a YouTube video. And I was like, oh my God, like, please tell me beforehand. Like, what if they had asked me something super like, I try and keep controversial stuff out. So like one thing some people have pointed out to me, they've sent me messages. They're like, hey, like, do you have something against this or this? And I'm like, no. Like if it's political in nature, and when I say political in nature, I don't mean like anything human rights based. If it's human rights based, it's like, okay, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But say over here in the US, I'm sure everyone on the entire planet saw our big old like buffoon we had running around out there.
Yeah.
And people would ask me like stuff about that, like political stuff, and I'm like, I'm not trying to step on people's toes, and it's like I'll just say I don't like it, I don't like this, but I'm not going to go into detail on stuff like that. But the video turned out well, and my opinion actually got some good comments in it in the comment section. I went and looked at the video. But I've had that, and then I had a McDonald's bot one time. It was like, come by McDonald's in the chat.
Man,
it was like,
I just get like the wannabe famous bots. It's like, where's my McDonald's promotion?
I did just remember. I went to a stream, and may I go ahead and plug the streamer?
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I went to Confused Anubis stream. He is friends with Bill Pill, another awesome streamer. Bill Pill told me about him. Me and Confused I would say we're kind of like slightly friends. And like I'll raid him sometimes or go in there. But one time he was playing Minecraft. And there was someone in there, and I gifted subs. And you know me, like I'll come in anyone's chat and start gifting subs if I got a paycheck. I usually try to limit myself to like 5 gifted subs a week, just to try and help my friends or new streamers. And I went in there, and this guy saw me do that, and how I was like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to help you out and stuff like that. This person started sending me messages asking if I would hire them if there was, so that I could pay them so that they could get the Java version of Minecraft. And they sent me 27 messages on Twitch, and I was like, I have a mod, and I don't need like an editor. I have an editor for my YouTube videos. Like, please, like I didn't want to be mean, but I was like, I'll let you know if I need something. And it was like, I mean, I'm looking at my messages right now. 27 messages. Jesus. Like, there's so many in here.
I mean, I always remember, not to that extent, fortunately, but I always remember, I think it was my Sonic 06 stream that I did ages ago, and there was this random person who came in saying, oh, Sonic 06, I love Sonic 06, just acting kind of normal in the context of things. So the stream was going well, we were playing. And then 2 seconds later, they asked, oh, by the way, can I be a mod? And I'm like, gonna ignore that. I'm just like, I am not gonna entertain that whatsoever. Like, what world? Like, I don't want to be too cruel on people, but there are, like, sometimes, initially I just assume they're just kids, you know? Like, people who ask immediately if, you know, they want to be mods or they want stuff from you. Because another thing I have seen, just see when you said about the subs, I actually thought the guy was actually going to ask you for a sub, because I have had people on my chat say that, where it's like, you know, they're like, my friend and good moderator S Banks has done that, where he is giving out gift subs and things like that, and really amazing when that happens, or whoever gives them out is amazing. But then you always get that one just utter horrible person who's just like, ah, I sure wish I had a sub.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's really, it's just really annoying when people, and it's that kind of self-entitlement, just, you know, like expecting something, if you know what I mean, whether it be a sub or it be someone wanting to play with you. Like, so see, this is something like I've said to other streamers, and they've said like, oh, but Satsu, you know, I've asked you if you wanted to, you know, play a game together, and you've said yes, you know, like off the cuff. But see if it's someone, and I'm quite interested to hear what you think about this, but like, see if it's someone random, like someone who turns around and they'll say, oh, can I play with you, whether it be Fall Guys or Among Us or things like that, and it's like, I don't know who you are. Like, like, genuinely, like, I don't mind if somebody asks, you know, like, if I know the person, like, beforehand, that's fine, but I don't know, I'm just very paranoid, see, when it comes to, like, you know, the horror stories, where it's like, someone is invited, like, honestly, it's like the plot of a really bad horror movie, where it's like, one Twitch streamer invites a person who comes into the chat, and, yeah, it's like, it turns out they're just, like, horribly, like, either racist, or just, you know, like, abusive, or things like that, and it just ruins everything for everyone else.
Yeah, so when I play Dragon Ball Fighters, I get a lot of people. I mean, a lot that will be like, "Hey, can I play?" So I've had to kind of set in the stream title PC in parentheses, because it's like they'll join and they're like, "Hey, I'm in this lobby," and I'm like, "Wait, like, I'm playing on." You know, I go to the lobby and they're not there, or they're like, "I can't find you." It's like, "What are you on?" "Oh, I'm on PS4 or Xbox One." It's like, I usually will play with people on PC. I just played against someone who came into chat, and they, you know, now they're kind of like a regular when I play fighters. So, you know, it kind of works out. But I did play with somebody on Team Fortress who they came into chat. They asked to play. I was like, okay, like, you know, let's see how this is. Because at first I was like, that's kind of when it first started, is when I was playing Team Fortress, and I was like kind of wary about it. And I was like, all right, I'll play with you. So I start playing with them, and then in the middle of the stream, they get killed, and they just yell a slur, and I was like, whoa, whoa. Like, I had to immediately mute my mic. I booted them from the lobby. I also had an Among Us stream where someone changed their name to a slur, like, in-game, so it showed up on the screen, and I just immediately kicked them out. I was like, I'm not having any of that.
Yeah, I mean, that is, like, like, such a worry of mine, you know. That's why I don't invite, like, anybody. And, you know, it's like, see if, you know, it's like, it's someone from the outside saying, oh, that sounds silly, you know, why wouldn't you just, because you're a streamer and obviously you're interacting with, like, loads of people anyway, like, whether it be in your chat, whether it not, and you think, why, you know, what's the big deal? But it's like, it's not so much the fact that they're just trolling, it kind of negatively reflects badly on you. People aren't going to see, oh, it's a guy who, you know, like, said a racial slur. They're going to think, oh, it was a guy on, like, either Captain Heart or, you know, Satsunami stream. I don't know. It's like, it's not a risk, and I feel as if I'm kind of being overly paranoid with it, but I'm like, better safe than sorry when it comes to that kind of thing. I have to admit, though, going on to a cheerier subject, though, I do think we definitely have, and you especially, because I have seen your community, and your community is just so, like, positive with one another. It's just such, like, a welcoming place. I actually meant to ask you before, and I think you have answered this, like, in previous streams, but see, in terms of the name Heart Patrol, like, what was the kind of inspiration behind that name?
Okay. So
So
yeah,
sorry.
so no, you're fine, you're fine. So as far as the way my community treats each other and
Hmm.
talks to each other and stuff, like in the Discord or just in chat, I'm very grateful that everyone is so very nice to each other. And even if they do like poke fun at each other,
Hmm.
it's all in fun. They're not seriously going to go out of their way to like make someone's day worse in my
Hmm.
chat. And if they did, I would have to talk to them about that because it's fine to kind of poke fun at stuff or whatever, but don't be a butthole about it,
Yeah.
for lack of a better words.
No,
Who,
absolutely.
but as far as Heart goes, the Heart Patrol. So the name the Heart Patrol came from so I used to do YouTube a couple years ago.
Hmm.
I had a channel. We had a decent sized community. Most of my people from Canada.
Hmm.
It fell off. So I stopped doing it for a little bit because I needed to focus on other things in life. And one of my friends, I was kind of kicking around like a music group called, like, I think I was going to call the music group the Heart Patrol. It was going to be like this jam band
Hmm.
type thing that's kind of like TWRP, if you've ever heard that band or that group. They're called Tupperware Remix Party, or TWRP for short. They have like this funky jazz, like, style with like vocoder electronic vocals, and they're just so cool. I've seen them live a couple of times. They signed one of my hats. Sometimes you'll see a hat I'm wearing that has like words written on like the top on the white in a marker.
Ooh,
They signed that,
that's quite
and
cool.
it was I think I was kind of kicking around, but I didn't have the name set up. And I was hanging out with one of my friends that was going through a hard time, and they tragically ended up passing away. They were kicked out of their house by a parent who, for lack of a better word, wanted to give my friend's room to that parent's new boyfriend. So they kicked their friend out, or they kicked my friend out of the house so that their parents' boyfriend could have a room and all his stuff. They were homeless for almost a whole year, and that whole time I was giving them money, I was driving them around, I was taking them out to eat, or finding them places to stay, just talking to them, being their friend, inviting them out to have fun with me and my friends. And then it started getting worse. They started being constantly in the hospital due to a medical condition they had, which was getting worse from being out on the streets.
Hmm.
And I didn't have a place for them at my place. The spare room just has, it's stacked with boxes, and that's going to be my new recording room for streaming and YouTube. But at the time, it was full. There was no room in it, and I couldn't have them. And a couple of times I went to go see them and take them medicine, and they told me that they were gonna die out there. And I remember telling them, I was sitting there holding them, and I was like, I'm not gonna let you die out here. I refuse to let that happen. It will not happen. I promise. I promise. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, they sent me a message. They're like, "Hey, I would really like to, hang out. Let's hang out soon," because we hadn't hung out in a while. And they were like, "Hey, I'd like to hang out soon. Like, even if you're busy, we can just FaceTime or just phone call." And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And then the next day, I got a message saying that they were found dead in the park, like face down, and it killed me. It destroyed me. And I remember being very angry. I was at work. It was 4 in the morning, and I was punching, knocking stuff over. I was mad as hell. And I remember thinking, like, how could their parent be so heartless as to kick them out of this house, as to put their own child on the street and watch them rot away, including being there when they called their parent and listening to them beg their mom to let them back in the house, only for their mom to be like, "Go away, I don't care." And then seeing their mom on Facebook be like, "Oh, they were a beautiful soul."
Hmm.
That's what I call a two-faced person, and I don't want to hear anything from you because you were lying to everybody. You put them there, and you're the reason why they passed, because you didn't want to take care of them. So I got to thinking, what can I do? What can I do to help people? And I still had that in my head, the Heart Patrol. And I was like, the Heart Patrol isn't just me. It's anyone in my community that helps somebody, either by, I don't care if you're opening the door for somebody. I don't care if you're helping an old lady cross the street. You're doing something good for somebody. You're helping people out.
Hmm.
And I was like, who leads the Heart Patrol? Captain Heart. And I decided right then and there that I would start streaming and doing YouTube, and half the money I make, or if I make anything, even if I don't make anything, I would do what I could for homeless people and just people in general. And with my charity stream and all that, I donated all the money from my charity stream I ran last October to Nashville Rescue Mission to help build homeless people houses in Nashville. And that's where the Heart Patrol came from, and Captain Heart in general.
I mean, it is an amazing thing that you do, though. Like, especially, like, for that charity stream as well. I mean, that was a great stream.
Thank you.
I mean...
I remember crying like 5 minutes into it, because 5 minutes into it, somebody donated $200, and I was like, I set the goal as like 30, because I didn't think it would do that well.
Yeah.
Because I was still a relatively new streamer at that. I mean, I had been streaming maybe 4 months, and I decided to, I think I'm coming up on like 8 or 9 months now, but I just remember bursting into tears during the middle of that, like right at the beginning of that stream. I hadn't even started the stream, and we already broke the goal by $170. It was amazing.
Honestly, it's like incredible though how supportive like people are on Twitch. I know I kind of touched on it earlier, saying like, you know, when you start streaming you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, you know. Like, I remember when I like saw Twitch initially, there was all these compilation videos of really stupid things like, oh look, top 10 fails on Twitch, or, you know, like cringe compilations, that kind of thing. You think, okay, like what the heck am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
But like when you do something like that and you truly realise, like, I know we touched on, you know, like people being kind of annoying in the chat and things, or people being horrible in games and things, but at the end of the day, like, there's just so many amazing people out there. I have to admit, it's like you don't really expect it. Like, I wouldn't say it's like the best bit, but you know what I mean. It's like the Spanish Inquisition of feels almost. I remember there was another streamer, like there are so many streamers that I have seen like starting to try and do like a lot of charity streams, and I mean even myself, like I would love to do a charity stream one day, but it's amazing going into those streams and just seeing like so much, you know, love and support.
Yeah.
I mean, like personally, like what you're doing with the Heart Patrol and everything, I think it's amazing. I think it's just like such a, and I'm not just saying that because you're a guest, you know. I'm not just saying that to butter you up on the stream.
You tell that to everybody.
Yeah,
I was in here when you told Alex. I was in here when you told Alex Blurry that you were just so impressed with everything he's doing, and he is.
Yeah, I've only got one script to work off. Okay, you know.
I just got to revise the streamer name. That's the compilation of every time Satsunami butters up his guest.
Yeah, let me just, that's it. His name's scored out now. So yeah. Wait a minute, you're not bloody negative. No, I'm kidding. Oh, but no, jokes aside, like I genuinely do, like, I mean, even, you know, when you started out and everything, and this is going to sound, I don't want to like target anyone or be like, oh, you know, people aren't genuine or anything, but, you know, it's like, you can definitely tell when, you know, a streamer's just being genuine or just being chilled, or like, you know, when they're like putting on a front.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously, you know, it's like, it's not like so black and white, but, you know, like when I saw your streams and the fact you go, because you go out your way so much to try and support people. And I have seen that, like, whether it be on Twitter, you know, whether it be on Twitch itself. Like, sometimes I see you pop in the chat, like, whether it's, like, Naf's chat or somebody else, and you're like, ah, Captain, hello there, how you doing? And it is just genuinely amazing, because I would say, like, you are definitely doing it right. You're doing, like, I mean, you're networking in all the right ways, and obviously you don't have to have me telling you that, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean,
yeah,
the fact you built up such an amazing community just speaks volumes about that. The fact that, you know, you've got so many people who are so supportive of you and, you know, are so active, because, you know, if it wasn't like a genuine thing or anything, like, you know, people don't kind of stick around for that kind of thing, but the fact, as I said, that you're so supportive, you know, you're making that effort and everything, and like everybody's willing to kind of rally around you and help you when you need it, and yeah, like at the risk of sounding like a Hallmark film, yeah. Like, I do think it's great though. I definitely think it is great.
Thank you.
So I'll try and turn down the sentimentality just a bit.
I'm crying. Thank you.
Yes. No. Well, sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way. Sorry.
Oh,
You've
no,
just said
you're
I'm
fine.
crying, and I'm just
Oh,
like, oh, no
too
problem.
bad.
God.
No problem.
No.
Cry more.
Cry. Come on. I need that. Oh,
I need more tears.
I was gonna say, what's the Twitch equivalent of an Oscar?
Maybe does Twitch send plaques like YouTube does? That I think that's one of my kind of like small goals is to get like a silver YouTube plaque that I can put in my room.
I can't even remember when is it they send you out a plaque.
Is it like 100,000? You get like the silver,
Yeah.
or is it like 150,000, or is it 500? I don't know. I just know that there's a point. I would be happy with the silver. I'm like I'm used to coming in second all my life, so silver it's nice. All that glitters is not gold, Satsunami.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That silver sparkles if you throw some glitter on it.
That is true. And I have to admit, I was on Etsy the other day, and I was looking up stuff. I think it was like stuff for Twitch as well, because sometimes you do get like, you know, diamonds in the rough kind of things for that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I saw was like these plaques you can buy for like certain milestones, whether it be YouTube or Instagram. And I kind of laughed it off, and I was like, oh, that's funny. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, but what if it's like have you ever seen that that audio, or not seen but heard that audio clip where the person's like, nobody's gonna know, they're gonna know, how would they know? It's like me thinking, no one would know, nobody would know, but maybe if, you know what, no, on the one hand it's £30, on the other hand but I'm like, no. It's like, got my genuine, authentic 3D printed, you know?
I don't know how it's going to work. Like, when I get my outfit ready, I don't know how much that helmet's going to weigh. Like, I got to get that thing 3D printed, like the design I want.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're getting...
It's still coming. It's still coming.
Yeah.
I have bills. I have to save money for that, like in a little jar.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and spoil that I am getting the turtleneck for me and Lovebug soonish. We have designed the base part of the outfit. I think I may have shown you part of the outfit. It's like I will have like a kind of ripped denim jacket with the Heart Patrol logo on the back and a black turtleneck type thing with pink stripes at the end of the sleeves with a helmet with a visor, which will replace my my trucker hat and my pink my pink glasses that I wore that I got from Amazon for $5. That's right, everybody. You too can own a Captain Heart exclusive visor if you just go and type in like 90s like pink visor or something like that on Amazon. That's where I got it.
Amazon is quite good for that kind of stuff, though, I have to admit. I remember going on and seeing... have you seen the cyberpunk glasses that they sell on Amazon?
What? No.
It's like, they're relatively cheap, but it's like LED glasses that have got like the cyberpunk, you know, like stuff kind of carved into it. And it's like low-key, I looked at them and I thought, do I need a pair of them? And I'm like, listen, I don't even have a webcam. I don't even show my face. So it's like
you guys can't see it.
Yeah. But I'm
looking right at you with cyberpunk vision.
It's like, you guys may be in 2021, but I'm in 2077 right now. You know?
I'm kind of wrapping this around into something else you said. I don't mean to kind of hijack this.
Absolutely. No, go for it.
I saw your Instagram post about Phasmophobia, about the spooky bitch, and it killed me. And I think you're doing... I love the way you have those set up with like the little Twitch rotating icon and stuff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I think you're going in the right direction with like kind of what you're doing. I think you're doing really good with that. I just wanted to let you know that because I saw that and I was like, I watched that like 500 times and it kept making me laugh. It's like, oh no, you spooky bitch. Like,
so
made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, just for context, before people think like, Satsunami, what the hell are you posting on your Instagram? Basically, it is a clip from a TV show called Still Game. It's like a very Scottish like comedy show about like
Yeah.
these old age pensioners, kind of just living out their daily life, and for me, it's personally funny. I don't know how well it would translate to people like outside of Scotland. That's what I always worry about when people say, "Oh, what's a good show you should watch?" From Scotland, and I'll always say "Still Game," and then I'll think, is it? Is it going to be as funny to them as it is to me? So basically, there's a scene where one of the main characters nearly dies, and he's going up like the stairs to heaven, and he's about to like reunite with his wife, and just as he's about to it's a really like emotional scene up until that point, and he's walking up the stairs and he's about to embrace his wife, and then his friend comes out of nowhere and just stops him and says, like, where do you think you're going, and he like ushers him down the stairs, and his wife keeps calling his name, kind of luring him. So the friend, like, just out of nowhere turns round to like his wife and just says, "Back off, ya spooky bitch," and then like he just ushers him down, and my god, like, I was absolutely howling the first time I saw that, and that is something like, like, if anyone out there has seen my Phasmophobia streams, oh my god, like, I say that so many times, and I think people are just thinking that I'm just, like, generally swearing, calling the ghosts, like, spooky bitches, but that's where it's from, it's that scene where he just turns around and he says, "Back off, you spooky bitch," because it never helps. I'm just going to point that out. It doesn't. It never helps. Yeah, it's Still Game. And yeah, I would recommend it. I would 100% recommend it. It's on our Netflix, at least the UK Netflix. Yeah, do you know what the weird thing is about that? Like, so you know how I was saying earlier about like I've been making like a huge push on like TikTok and Instagram and things. I honestly feel like, see, for things like that where they're all up to like the algorithm, you just have to kind of surrender yourself and go you kind of have to say like, I'm going to put this content out and it's either going to be amazing or it's just going to crash and bomb. And surprisingly enough, see, when I uploaded that exact same video to TikTok, it got like 20 views or something like that, like really, really poor. And I was like, but I thought it was funny. But then like I put it to Instagram and like it did really well on there. And that's the thing though, like, I mean, it's like going back to what you were saying about, like, obviously you shouldn't worry about numbers and things, like, but see, just because like something doesn't work like on one website, it doesn't mean, or social media rather, it doesn't mean it's not going to work on the other social media, which, I mean, I have to admit, it's quite surprising, but yeah, I'm going to say it though, like, thank you for watching it so many times as well.
Oh, no, dude, anytime, man. It was legit funny. Stuff like that, like, I didn't even need context for like where it came from. I just knew, I've seen the clips. Mm-hmm. Steven he sent me the clip where you like turn around and just like scream in his face, and then I just love the sheepish like, I took a picture of Steven. Like, it got me every time. So seeing and I apologize for the
no, you're fine.
The impersonation. So seeing that and knowing that me and you react very similarly during Phasmophobia, I just I really I don't know, it was just funny to me. I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it be like in Phasmophobia.
Oh, totally. It actually reminds me of, and I apologise for doing this to you, but I always remember when we were playing, or no, sorry, not we, you were playing Phasmophobia, and I dropped in and you had the, is it the Ia sound command?
Ia from Power Rangers.
Yeah. It's just because it's like just such a sudden and loud like sound command. On the one hand, I was like, no, it's cruel. I shouldn't use this when you're like on the edge of your seat. You don't know if the ghost is going to come out at any time. And then I was like, but on the other hand, I am a sub. I put the thing in, and just 2 seconds later, it popped up, and you like obviously started screaming. And it's like,
I like threw my mic.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have done the same. I would have absolutely done the same thing. I mean, you've seen me, like, just to kind of give context to people listening, the scene that you were talking about with me screaming was, I went into a room with, ironically enough, it was my 2 moderators. So ironically, the 2 people who should have been keeping me safe weren't. in Vaso. And I walked into this room and the lights started flickering when we were inside. And I was looking around and I was kind of like, right, okay. I was genuinely on the edge of my seat thinking, I was so worried, And then I turned round and I saw S. Banks just standing there, but it was because he was standing next to a plant pot. And I turned so fast that they kind of blurred together for like 1 instant. So I thought it was like this horrible plant monster ghost thing. I was terrified. That was a genuine scare. Like, how you get some like reactors who are like, oh, it's a ghost. No, that was a scream.
That was like, yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I uploaded a clip as well, weirdly enough, I think it was today, of my, like, Outlast playthrough. And there are just so many moments like that where I am just absolutely terrified. And one of them was when I was getting too cocky. And it's one of the guys who like chases you throughout the game. And you can't fight back. You can't hurt him. He can kill you right away, but you can't.
The big guy with the teeth or whatever?
Yeah. And he started walking towards me. And I was making jokes saying, oh, are you approaching me? Thinking I was being funny.
Oh Dios,
because I was like, genuinely, I was standing there thinking, you coming towards me, and he kept walking towards me, and I'm like, I'm kind of joking, on the stream saying, oh no, it's getting creepy, haha, stop it, thinking in my head, shit, please stop, and then he does stop, and he turned round, so I thought, okay, he's walking away. So I pressed the 2 bumpers to kind of go left and right, to peek round corners. And I was like, I was just like, yeah. And then 2 seconds later, someone put a sound command in. It was exactly that from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, where it's the main antagonist from the first part of that yells "Kono Dioda," and he see at that exact moment he just spins round and he starts chasing after me, and it cuts off. I think if you watch the full stream, I mean it is 6 hours right enough, so feel free to skip through. But if you watch that full clip in its entirety, I scream the F word just at the top of my lungs so many times in that stream. Because I was just so terrified of that game. But that's the thing though, it's even though we do get terrified by these kind of games, I mean, it makes good content. I think it was actually Naf, I'm sure, that said that. I don't know if he said it on stream or it was on Twitter or something, but I'm sure he said something along the lines of see, as long as you get the clips from it, or good clips when you're playing these games, I mean that's just a complete positive outcome.
I wish I had clipped. Mm-hmm. So, funny enough, Fluffy there had asked me about playing a VR game called Exorcist Legion VR, which I've got 2 more chapters to play. I haven't played it in a while due to a couple of reasons. When I play scary games, there's other people that live here with me, and I can't be yelling at 9 at night or screaming. I've got to find a good time to do it. Secondly, that game, so Phasmophobia scares me, but it doesn't have me on edge. It's not the the unknown, because I know that there's a ghost. I know kind of how to play the game. It's not something where something's chasing you constantly. You're trying to, you're kind of battling this clock to get as much evidence before it starts picking up and becoming more powerful. So Phasmophobia for me still scares me when the ghost shows up right in my face, but just walking around in the house or wherever does not scare me anymore like it used to. It used to terrify me. If I had clipped the first time I played Phasmophobia, I sat in the tutorial room with the TV on for 30 or 40 minutes because I was terrified to go in the room, and there's no ghost in the tutorial. It just tells you how to get the evidence. Well, I played Exorcist Legion VR, and I was so scared that you could visibly see my hand shaking in VR. I was holding a cross, and my hand was shaking. And then I dropped the cross on the ground in the dark, and I couldn't find it. So I'm looking up and oh my God, where's the cross? Where's my salt? Where's the salt? Where's the cross? And it's every time I pick up the cross, I drop it as I'm picking it up, so it flies further away towards the demon.
Oh
as it's like
God, yeah.
approaching. And then the last one I did, the demon looks like a mannequin, and you turn around and there's a bunch of copies of it, but only one of them is real, and you have to like walk in between a bunch of these
Mm,
mannequins.
yeah.
And when you get to a certain one, you'll see like a snake tail kind of wrapped around it. That game is like it's the fear of the unknown that gets me. I like being scared, but at the same time, it's like, oh my god, just get it over with type deal.
No, I'm exactly the same with that. Because it's weird, like, because I'm not a huge fan of horror games at all, which is kind of weird considering I've played, like, quite a few of them on the channel.
Yeah.
But, like, the first horror game I played, like, fully, from start to finish, like, it took me 4 hours, was Outlast. Played that. There were some moments where I was genuinely terrified, but it was all, jump scare kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I knew for the most part what was coming up, which I think helped a little bit. Little Nightmares, I played that, and it was kind of like, it was a good game and everything, but it's like, do you ever feel that like, once you keep dying in, like, a horror game, it's like, it takes away the kind of fear a little bit? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I played like Five Nights at Freddy's years ago, and it's all right. Like, I did jump the first couple of times, but then after that, it's kind of just like, oh, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Like,
If you know what you're looking
mhm,
for, Five Nights can lose its
yeah,
luster, but at the same time, it's like you literally forget to check one thing and then you
oh
just
yeah,
get killed out of nowhere. That's still,
oh yeah,
it's not like I mean the first time I played Five Nights,
mhm,
the atmosphere in that first game is amazing. Like it's just air conditioner running and you just hear stuff in the pizzeria. That's it.
yeah,
So it's like that actually scared me. The atmospheres. Getting killed like that does so those games are kind of like a product of their time. I do enjoy them. I like them, but I do agree that they lose their luster. But the
mhm,
atmosphere in that first game is great. But there are some games that are able to kind of like go over the I want to say like overcome that. Like I think Alien Isolation does it pretty good because the
mhm,
alien's just always going around somewhere. It's not always like it's not a set piece. Like it could
yeah,
be
yeah,
anywhere. So you might get killed doing something and then the next time you go through there and it's fine. There's
mhm,
nothing there. And then you immediately open the next door and it's right in front of you. And it's like that's not supposed to be there.
yeah,
Like so games like that I feel are kind of like I think they've got the right idea because I still see some people just play it for fun. And I'm
mhm,
like, you want to play that game for fun? And I am a huge Alien fan.
mhm,
Shout out to the new Alien game coming out that I'll be playing on stream as soon as it drops. Those I don't know. I'm excited to play Isolation.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
a huge Alien fan, so I've never played Isolation, but I want to, and I watch the movies constantly. I've got the books,
mhm.
like just always been a fan.
I'm just laughing because I always remember one of my other friends, Green Shield. I always remember, like, he is not a fan of horror games, like, at all. Like, he absolutely hates them. He hates, like, jump scares and anything too kind of intense. So one day I always remember, like, I'd put a poll up saying, what like game are we going to play? Are we going to play like a jump scare horror game, or are we going to play, can't remember, I think it was like a Switch game or something like that, like something
Banjo
complete.
Kazooie.
It was like something like completely the opposite, and I think because it was like a tie that he got lucky. Essentially, he could have been playing Alien Isolation, but he got very lucky that day that he didn't.
Yeah.
He was so close, but he didn't. Which that is a game I'll have to go and play because it's been sitting there for ages, like in my backlog, thinking should I play it, and I probably should. But then, like, sorry, before I kind of go on, like, do you ever feel like that now that you're a streamer, that it's quite hard to separate yourself from, like, being able to play a game in your spare time and playing a game for the stream?
Yeah. It is hard because sometimes that's something I think a lot of people don't think about because like I mean there's some games that you can literally play off stream and then get back on stream if it's a game you truly 100% enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some games like depending on people's style, some people can pull off playing some certain games and being
Mm-hmm.
like whereas you could play the same game and be like I don't like playing this on stream but I enjoy playing it offwards because you don't know how to commentate or like how to interact with chat with the game. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there was a game, Deus Ex: Human Revolution, otherwise known to my viewers as that one cyborg robot cop game you played.
Yeah.
I played it a couple times on stream. I loved the game. We had a fun time, and I got locked in a bathroom, and a guy walked in with a shotgun and blew me away.
Oh, I
And I
remember
fell
that,
into
yeah.
I fell into the bathtub,
Mhm.
and I had to redo it in that apartment complex.
Mhm.
I love that game, but I cannot play it on stream because I don't know how to interact. Because there's like a million things going on in that game.
Mhm.
You get the main quest, and then before you get a chance to go to the first mission, you're given 6 side quests. And if you go to the main quest again, you get another 3 side quests. So you've got like 10 side quests already at the start of the game, and they each branch off into another side quest. So your side quest doubles like before you even get to the second mission. And I'm like, I don't know how to like do this on stream. So I stopped, but I still played off stream. I'm like, fine, like this is fun. Another game that I like to play, Dota 2. I love Dota 2. I actually, at one point in time, I was in line to be an actual Dota 2 commentator.
Oh, really? Wow.
And the guy that I was signed to a network, this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I was signed to a network, and I was actually going to be a Dota 2 commentator for tournaments near the international. And I play it in stream, and it usually does not do very well, but I enjoy it. I have a blast playing the game, but I just know that that's not like people are there for the streamer for the most part, but there are some people that they want to see sick gameplay. You know what I mean? Like just craziness. But I like to think that I'm more of like the streamer type person that can sometimes do cool stuff on stream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I occasionally can do some cool stuff on stream, like in a game I'm playing. Like I might do something kind of cool, but it's not going to happen all the time unless it's like a certain game. I'm trying to think of a couple other like games like that I would have a hard time streaming, but not like playing offline. I guess any game like that. I think I might do better with like Skyrim or Oblivion because I really love Oblivion. So I think because it doesn't give you a million side quests at the beginning that I could get away with it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Oh, it has been a while since I have played Oblivion, but I know exactly what you mean. So yeah, where can these lovely people who are listening to you find your content?
I'm also on Twitter as at the Heart Patrol, I believe. Let me see. I have a YouTube channel. I have no content posted yet. I'm working on a banner, theme music. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I'm working on theme music, banner, videos, video editing. I'm actually working on a solo album I might put my name as Captain Heart in the credits, like on the album. It's going to be like a death metal, progressive death metal, like jazz album.
If you want to find me, then you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and of course Twitch under the name Satsunami42. Thank you so much for coming on Chatsunami tonight. It has honestly been such a pleasure.
Oh, dude, anytime. I'm happy that you asked me to do it, and I had a blast like talking with you. I know last time my podcast ended, we talked for like another almost hour after the podcast was over. So
we definitely did.
yeah. So thank you so very much, man. This was a blast.
Yeah, no, thank you. As always, everybody stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay hydrated. Bye, guys.
See you guys.